My friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to pick up where I left off on the last video on exercise 18 where I created this model. The problem was the original drawing did not have all the dimensions accurately placed in the drawing, so I redrew the TechDraw, that technical drawing, and then I developed this model. Now I want to show you all how I developed this technical drawing in FreeCAD. So let's get started with a new workbench, TechDraw. I want to use the same model that I built yesterday, and I want to hide this technical drawing, and I want to create the same or like almost similar technical drawing today out of this model. So let me go ahead and delete this page. All right. Technical drawing should come with your FreeCAD installation, and this has a lot of the tools, and we will be using almost half of those. So um, be patient with me, and I'll explain all the basic tools that I will be using to develop this technical drawing from this model. First of all, as you can see, the only two buttons available for us are these two: insert default page and insert page using template. Now default page may not be available for you if you didn't specify a default page, so I did, but what I want you to do is like go to template page and pick one of the templates that you would like. Today I will be picking A4 landscape, this blank. What I did was I edited this one to create my own template. So let me go ahead and then open that up, but feel free to open up the landscape blank page for your case. So that's the drawing canvas. That's where I want to draw things on this one. Now that's our first step. It's the page. I want to include different views of this model that I built into this page. And in that page, one thing that I want you to pay attention is this scale. This is 1. Let me keep that at 1 right now and see what's happened. So I want to select this final object. It is selected. Just keep it selected, and then come here. This button says insert view. So if there is only one page in here, if I click on this button, this page will have a view inserted as it is shown in here. So this is the view, and the line will be drawn on this page based on that view. So let me delete this view, and I want to move this one like this. Just little bit change and say I want to hit this button. At the same time, I actually want to use this tile feature where I can keep both of these windows side by side and say I selected this object and come here on the TechDraw, hit insert view. It shows up just like it is in the main object. So that's how we insert a 3D view. Pretty simple. It can be moved around, so I want to keep it there, and I want to lock the position at that point. Now I cannot move it anymore. If I want to look this pretty, come all the way up here, find this turn view frames on or off, and that way it's a pretty drawing. So if I click on that one, it shows me the points, the vertex, and which will be used to draw the dimensions. But I just wanted to show you this button, turn this on or off, and we will be using that pretty massively. So that's our 3D view. I want to show another feature of this TechDraw, which is called insert projection group. For this one, I want to bring this 3D object to of any of the standard views, like now it has in the right way, or I could make it say top. This is also possible. So either way, it has to be on standard view, like left, right, front, top, bottom, one of these. I want to keep it like that, and I want to say I'm selecting this, and then I say insert projection group. I did that, and what it does is like it brings the front in here, because front is what we have to begin with. If you see on the bottom, on the left panel, it has 9 more buttons that I can click on. So I want to see what this button does. This takes what it has on the top, so that's taken in here. If I click on here, it will take the bottom view. So I'm keeping only one of these, right? And what does this button do is like it's the corner view. So if it, if you observe this model from the corner, so that's a 3D model. We don't want that. We already have it here. So, and I can take the side views. If it's a pretty irregular object, side views help. And so, and this one says rear view. We can do that too. But this is a pretty simple object for TechDraw. So in my opinion, only having the top view and the front, either of the front or side view, will do for this one. So let me stop right there. I can come down, and then spacing wise, I can say I want to make them little tight. So I want to say I want to make the distance between these two objects as 5 millimeter, and then hit apply. So that kind of like brings things pretty close, and I can reorganize the entire thing by grabbing the original base view, which was the front. So I'm keeping that. Now it's pretty taken all the space up from on our drawing canvas. We can update that by coming to say page. I can say scale 0.75. That shrinks thing down. If I say 1.5, that will blow things up. So that's also another way to actually control the space. I want to keep that for this one at 1, because I want to make it as big as possible, and 1 is pretty awesome scale. So that's all about having this final object. So we brought all the views that we wanted. Now I want to close this one and start working on this technical drawing. I want to furnish this technical drawing with dimensions and everything else, so someone else can actually reproduce the model just by looking at this page. To do that, I want to keep all my vertices visible. I don't want to go to the pretty site right now. I want to keep it as it is so that I can use these vertices in my advantage. Now about the dimension. So we have on the left side, these are the dimension tools. We will be using all of these, mostly horizontal and vertical dimensions, pretty extensively. Here is the angle. We have 2 angle dimensions, one with the 2 lines, another one with 3 points. So we can do that. And we will be using section view. We will be using the section view here. And we will be using the center line and some of the furnishing lines from there. So we'll be using a lot of tools from here. So let me go one by one. First of all, I want to use the section view of this model, because this model is simple from the outside, but it is pretty detailed in the section. So I want to draw a section. For that, I want to use this top view. So I selected that and come here. It has 2 options: section view, complex section view. So section view will do for us. I selected section view. Now it gave me on the left panel different options. So these are the orientation that's suggesting, I can select this one and say live update. Let me go ahead and click live update. So that's one thing. If I go vertically, if I go horizontally, that's also another thing. And in the original drawing, if you'll notice, I have this flipped up and down. It's because it's one of these. So if I go with this one, that's splicing it up and then looking from net directions for this one from top to bottom. But if I go on the other direction, it flips. So either way, whichever works fine, go ahead and select it. I'm keeping it this view so it looks good on this one, which I should have done in the first of the view that I developed yesterday. And we can change the angles from here, but we don't need it for on this one. But if I wanted to, I could go ahead and change this direction. Say I could make it 45. It would not change anything, but actually just change the view, but the content is the same. So for me, keeping it 90 actually is better. So I'm keeping all of this as it is. So that's all about the section, developing a section. I'm gonna go ahead and say okay. So we got our section, and that's where I want to keep most of my dimensions. I want to keep these two as simple as it is, or as clear as it is, and then come with this section view, put all my dimensions in there as much as I can. So let me start with this line. So I can select these lines individually. Let me blow it up a little bit. So this one, I can select the line and then come here like we do in the sketching. So that's 48 millimeter. Actually, although in the section it says line, that line is actually this diameter of the inner hole. So we can say this is a diameter. So select that dimension and come to diameter sign. So clicking this one actually places a diameter button in front of the on the object. And we can come to these 2 points and make the horizontal dimension 72 millimeter. And then I can say this is another diameter. Now you can ask me, why am I encroaching upon on this view? It's because that view, that wording view, would not be there when I click on this. So that will look like this. So now that I know that, I can kind of like keep it as big as it is and then kind of place some dimensions up there. Just squeeze it a little bit down. And then I can come here, make another dimension, but I think I can do that better on this view. So select these 2 lines and draw another horizontal dimension. That's the largest diameter we have on this view, and then say that's another dimension. Now these are the 6 tiny holes that we developed by Lattice 2 workbench yesterday. I can say these are holes and select these 2 and come here on this icon. It says insert center line. The first one is for the faces, and I can say I can add center line between 2 lines. I can select that one. So it's giving me options here how I want this center line to be formatted. I can say I can go with dash dot, and then I can change the color if I wanted to and keep it there. So that's our one center line. I'm going to say I want to select another center line with the same format. So dash dot, and I want to make it red. And now between these 2 center line, I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Between these 2 center line, I can draw a horizontal dimension and place it up there and say this also another diameter, 88. if I wanted to, I could place the same dimension in this plan view and say that's a insert length dimension. Because it's not horizontal or vertical, none of these two will work as to where I want. So I'm using this one and say that's also a diameter. All right. Since we are working on these tiny holes, let me go ahead and then place an annotation on here. So let me select this and come here. This is says insert balloon annotation and select that. So that's a balloon annotation. Okay, so I want to go ahead and then delete this one for now. I can change this one by double clicking on it and say write something. I want to say 6 diameter 8 millimeter holes, right? How do I insert the diameter sign in here? Because my keyboard doesn't have a diameter. So, and it says on the Windows computer, Alt 0216 will develop this button, the diameter symbol. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm keeping my cursor in here, and then on the keyboard I'm saying Alt, keep it pressed 0216 at the same time, so that develop the diameter. And the holes ones actually making it too big, so I'm just going to say 6 8 millimeter diameter holes. I'm just going to keep it right there. Another thing I want to do, so that's the most actually basics of it, and I can keep doing all the dimensions, but I want to show another thing, which is this tool. It says insert detail view. We have this corner which has a lot of, like, at least 4 or 5 dimensions that I want to blow it up a bit more. So what I want to do is I want to select this view and come here and press that detail, and scale factor I want to, so what it does is it actually, I can drag this in here. So that's the area I want to blow it up, like, make it bigger. If I want to make it bigger and original scale is 1, I want to make it bigger, so it will be 2 or say even 3. So I'm gonna go with 2.5. I can write in. Alright, and I want to bring it in here and hit OK. This will update in a moment, or I can force update it by pressing F5 on the keyboard. There. So we have our detailed view, and I can place it somewhere here, right? And say that's our, now I can place the dimensions in here too. Say I want to place the dimension, angle dimension between these two lines right there. So that's 30. I want to place another dimension here, so that's 60. I want to say this line, how high that line is, that's 2 millimeter, and I want to finally make this dimension visible, which is 6 millimeter. All right, so that's the most of it, and I think it's too much congested. Delete that. We are almost there. I want to show a couple more tricks on this TechDraw. So I want to create a series of dimensions for these lines. So I selected all of these, and then I can select create vertical, actually no, I can do create vertical chain dimensions. So this one, what it does is, what I would have to do 4 separate attempts. This is now, it could be done in single click. So that's what it did. So this is, all right, that's too many dimensions. But if I wanted to actually draw all of these, so these are, I'm going to say consecutive dimensions. But if I wanted to do them in a different fashion, like I'm going to say I want to draw everything from a baseline. So I select this point, this point, this, 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 and finally this. And then I come here and say create vertical coordinate dimensions. What it does is everything, all of these dimensions have been created from a baseline. So the baseline is the one that I selected to begin with, and all of the references were selected from that baseline. So these are the two, one is chain dimensions, and another one is vertical or horizontal coordinate dimensions. This one, all of these arrows from inside, this is from the outside. We can work on that. We can come here and say flip arrowhead, and that makes it uniform. So that's like, too many congested dimensions, but there are options for us to actually see which one we want. So I like this method. That's my preferred one, but this is the one what came with originally, so I'm gonna keep both of those. I want to show another trick, is this chamfer tool. So this one, I know that it was 4mm up and down, 45-degree angle. I can come and select these 2 points and come here and say create horizontal chamfer dimension, and that actually says what is the dimension for this chamfer. So we can do that too. I think that's all on the dimension wise. There are few parameters that I would like to talk, but because this video is becoming too long, I want to stop here, and in the next video I want to talk about the parameters, like few tips and tricks on how to set up these parameters and work more easily on this TechDraw. So I'll see you in the next video with some more tips and tricks on TechDraw. Thank you for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.